morning, everyone. This is Meg at Chasing Retro. I thought I would turn the camera on today while I decorate the Floral Faith journals so that we could just chat, catch up a little bit, and you can just see my process, my very slow process of decorating journals. I feel like I move the speed of molasses when I make journals. I don't know why. I sometimes get sort of in a creative slump and just feel sort of paralyzed. I also have what's called being stress paralyzed. If you've seen the hilarious movie Mom's Night Out, you know what that is in reference to. Just when my life seems crazy and I just kind of freeze in all areas, including crafting. But nonetheless, I thought maybe some of you would find it maybe sort of interesting to see my thought process as I go through a journal. This is one of the 4 journals that it will be in this series that will be listed this week in my shop. They're all 4 different, but they will have a lot of the same things inside as I normally do. There's that one, and then I have this one. And then I have this yellow one. And then last of all, I have a pink and gray. So these have not received their cover decorations yet, nor have they received their names. They will be named after women in the Bible. So once I decide on those, of course, they will be in the flip through video. But yeah, I started decorating this one and then decided to turn the camera on. But this one, they all have a sewn in tie closure. Y'all excuse my voice. It's just a little bit congested. We all had this, you know how wonderful summer colds are? Yeah, we all got one the week that our son moved into his dorm, and we were just, it was awful. It was just like, you know, going through 1,000 Kleenexes a day per person. And you might be able to hear my daughter back there. She's still coughing. But just, it's just been like the cold that just lingers, just little annoying bits of the cold that just linger. So if I have to pause and blow my nose, that's what I'm doing. So this is my standard soft cover, fabric cover journals. And the inside I always put a cardstock. And then they each have 2 signatures. And I like to do a pocket or a tuck spot on the first one. I may or may not put a pocket here. It depends on how much ephemera I still have left to go when I'm putting all the ephemera in at the end. This is a belly band. This is a new punch that I got at the recraft that I was telling y'all about. I love this. When I bought it, I thought it was an edge punch. And maybe it can be if I put the paper in only halfway. I'm not really, you know, really good at using punches. For some reason, I feel very clumsy when I use them. But to me, this seems more like a border punch. So y'all let me know if I'm looking at it incorrectly. So with belly bands, I don't always put them right in the center. Like in this case, I offset it just a little bit, just because if I put something in there that is wider, I feel like it's just easier to move in and out on a page like this, on a journal that's somewhat narrow. That might just be a weird quirk of mine, I don't know. And then here I just have one of the offcuts turned into a pocket, and this is a die cut from Hobby Lobby. I love these. And then this is a full fabric page right here. And on the back is a coloring page. You guys saw me make these sewing pattern tissue pages. And these as well, I think, was in that video of page ideas. Here is a Rita flip. So we have a tuck here, and then you can write on the back. All the journals will have a hymn book page. This is just something I like to do with the 1-inch offcuts that I have. I cut them into squares and just sew them together, kind of like a quilt motif. Here is the Franken paper page that I made in that video as well. This is from a children's Bible book, like one of the books that a Sunday school teacher would use as a visual aid when telling stories, and it's very bright and colorful. So I thought that would be, I'm going to leave it as is. I'm not decorating this page, so you can journal in between right here, or it might be a good base for photographs or something. And then this is where I stopped. This is a piece of the Kmart 1973 Kmart blueprints, and I've glued it onto a file folder. As you can see, I kept the shape of the file folder tab and made a side pocket. And this is a little crochet doily with a flower. And I just sewed this on before I turned the camera on. This is just a piece of vintage trim that I got in Happy Mail. This is so fun. This is like upholstery trim. I got it on clearance at Hobby Lobby 3 or 4 years ago. And I don't get to use it very often, so I was excited to put it in this journal. This is an attendance sheet for a church. And I probably will put a stamp or a seal or something on that side. The center, I always try to leave the strings long enough to put a bead or a button. And then I may or may not decorate these. It depends. Sometimes I'll put one image here, but I'm not sure. As you can see, I'm somewhat indecisive. Sometimes on my first flip through, and then I'll go back and add stuff later. This is the back of that little greeting card that you saw. So it's substantial enough that I think I can put a small pocket here. So I have these. I got these in Happy Mail a long time ago from Jan. She got these in an estate sale. So I might just cut this and make a little wallpaper border pocket. So yeah, this cold is trying its best to turn into a sinus infection, and I think it may actually already have. But our doctor has been monitoring us and says that this is a viral one, and I believe him because the one I had a sinus infection in January, and it was so sorry. It was not viral, it was bacterial, and it was significantly worse and very different in many ways. And I'm not going to go into detail, but sinusitis that's viral, which I think like 90% of them are, just has to run its course. And so you just treat the symptoms, and it could take 2 to 3 weeks to fully get over. So frustrating, but you know, I look at it as just another sign that I need to take a little bit of time and slow down and take care of myself, and doing the same for our daughter who is struggling similarly. But we will get through this. And it has been so hot here, like upper 90s. I think it got up to 100 on Saturday. So when that happens, obviously you have to turn your air conditioner on. And ours, I don't think it cut off all day on Saturday. So that just makes the air cold and dry, which is the worst thing for sinuses. So we have humidifiers going and stuff to try to combat that. I'm pretty cold natured, so I could probably turn the air off for a couple hours a day and be fine. My husband, not so much. So, yeah, we have to kind of figure out how to make me comfortable and him comfortable, and all the while conserving and trying to think about our power bill as well. Okay, so these journals, like I said, are Floral Faith. And I'm using a lot of these book pages and flowers that I'm fussy cutting out of this. This is by this lady right here. It is a beautiful book. And it's just Bible truths, verses, and little inspirational quotes, I guess, with her watercolor drawn flowers. So I use some of the pages in the books, but some of them I will be fussy cutting as embellishments. A lot of these might be too big for this little card here. Like this would be beautiful, but it's just, I don't know that I want to cut off that much of the flower. But aren't they pretty? I love them. I've also been playing with my other punch, and this book sort of has of the 4 books, this one has the most fall feel to it. So I got some burgundy cardstock, and I made this little piece that I'll probably put as a pocket at some point in here. But I'm trying to figure out what I want to put here. We have a pocket on this side now. Let's go through my little box of seals. I don't have that many seals. This is where I keep my seals and my labels. Aren't these so cute? I got these at Recraft too, the little notary seals. Stars, carnations. I like those, but they're pink. So I really am trying to keep more red in this journal. Some of these might be used up. See, all the roses are gone. I could use the violets though. Let's do that. And not on this card page. I think I'm gonna go back to that other page I showed y'all. The attendance record. And put it on the back of that. Because I like to put seals on the back of thin paper. Put it right here. And I do not lick these old Denison seals. Just, that kind of grosses me out to think about it. So I use glue. Sometimes they don't punch very well. Okay. See, all you need is just a little bit of something right there. And I will use my tacky glue for this because I hardly ever use my tacky glue for gluing pockets and belly bands on. I use Fabri-Tac. I feel like it holds better. And it also, Fabri-Tac allows you to shift things around a little bit when you first put it down until it starts to set. Tacky glue is not quite as forgiving. Here we go. This little bottle. It's almost out of glue and I need to refill it. And I typically use that opportunity to take that icing tip off and wash it with hot water because it gets yuck. Okay, so we have a little pocket here. This is not a tag, but I'm just showing there's a place for little tiny things. I'm gonna think about what to put here. I'll come back. This is one of my painted papers. This is a placemat, and it's pretty substantial as well. So I might do, this would be either a good place for a tuck spot or a upside down pocket or up pocket, whatever you want to call it. Let me think. Let's do a tuck spot because I have not done one yet. First, I'm going to look in my folder to see if I have any plant and flower images that I could use. If not, I'll probably use something like a playing card or something like that. Some of these are from my tropical journals left over. Oh, isn't that so pretty? I cut the side of a magazine. It's like crewel and like felt applique right there. It doesn't really go with the vibe of this journal, but it is nice. This is from a birthday card that I received. It's got glitter. This is also from a birthday card, and I thought this was a perfect tuck spot. but not for this journal because this journal doesn't have a lot of pink. This actually would go very well in this journal, so I'm gonna pull this aside. These are not big enough. This is cut out from a calendar, and it was kind of awkward because I was trying to save one flower that was overlaid with another. So I could cut this off, but then you end up with this awkward leaf. So I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with that. Some things I just can't throw away. I'm like, I will find a way to use that. That's an orchid, I think. I love this. That's not a good tuck spot, but it might be. It might be a good decoration for this one. These are from a nature guide. I've got tons of these types of cutouts left. I like it, but again, it doesn't really fit the theme. This journal feels a little more, like I said, a little more fall, cozy colors. So these are also from birthday cards. Look how pretty they are. It's like a rose gold. This is amazing. You know, of all of them so far, this is probably the best. Let's do that. We'll use that one. I've kind of been holding on to that one because I like it so much, but I can't do that forever with everything. Okay, so this is a book page, and it's not thin, but it's not thick either. So I'm gonna glue it down to some cardstock or a file folder. Here's the file folder right here. Several of y'all have asked how I glue things down without things lifting up if I don't sew them. Quite frequently I do sew things, not always something with this much detail and curves and stuff. But if I'm not sewing around the edge, I typically do glue stick for the middle because it's cheap and it's really easy to do broad coverage with it. And then along the edges, I will use tacky glue. Because I found that glue stick tends to lift up over time if it's on the very edge. And I've tried several brands. I don't know if that's the same for all of y'all, but that's what happens with me. So I typically use this glue around the edges. This is probably what takes me, honestly, so long to do a journal, because I have these little, I guess like traditions that I do or ways of doing things that are probably maybe a little overkill. But I also don't want people to get journals and then the images and stuff start flaking and lifting off of the pages within a year or two. That's not good. I make these to survive posterity, you know. I want them to last, and the glue. Normally I would like to let this dry, but I'm just gonna cut it since I'm on camera. I would normally just set this aside and do another page and then come back. How's everybody doing? How are all of my Canadian friends doing with all of the wildfires? I think about y'all every day when I see the new reports. I hope it's not affecting any of you. And then also in Louisiana, Carrie, I saw that there was a big fire in Maryville, which is probably 20 or 30 minutes down the road from where I used to live. So how are you doing? Are there any wildfires or refinery fires near you? I saw that a refinery was on fire too. Very troubling times. But I have faith that God is in control and he is still on the throne. And none of this has taken him by surprise at all. And he has a purpose and a plan, despite anything that we mess up here on earth. And going to God in prayer and in reading his promises and his word is what gives me hope every single day. And that's why these journals are so important to me and so timely, I think, for the way the world is. I want to be sure I leave a lot of writing space in these journals for you, whoever purchases these, to pour their heart out. Write out prayers, copy scripture, things like that. Just to have a place where you can chronicle what you're thinking and feeling and believing during all of this time. And I just kind of had the idea out of nowhere to name these after women in the Bible. Let's see, I want to make sure I don't put glue where I shouldn't. Okay. So this is a fun little tuck spot, I think. Despite, having sinus congestion and stuff lingering, I did go to 2 estate sales this weekend. It's been a long time since I've gotten to go to an estate sale. I feel like there haven't been that many worth driving to in about a couple of months probably. But there was one that I really wanted to go see, and I'm glad I went, and I'm excited to show you what I found there. And then I went to one that I thought was a yard sale on Saturday, but turns out it was more of an estate sale, and I bought a couple more things. Most of them weren't junk journal related, but I did buy a book. So I'll share that with y'all probably on Thursday for Thrifty Thursday. I haven't done a Thrifty Thursday hashtag in a while, so I'll probably record that and hold that until Thursday. I don't know, maybe not. It really depends on when these journals are ready, and I do the flip through because I don't like to post 2 videos back to back. So just be watching. Watch for the thrift haul, and also watch for, in the next few days, these journals will be in a flip through video, and I'm going to try to list them in my shop immediately after. I'm not going to do like a release time, I don't think. If something in this genre interests you, or one of these catches your eye, then just be sure that you have your notifications on YouTube and also in my shop, and it will let you know when they're there. Okay, so this Franken paper page, I never really know what to do. Like, do I do a pocket? I don't know. I mean, it's perfect writing space. Oh, I don't know. We'll just leave that for now. And then on these fold out ledger pages, when I do a fold out, I really like to put some sort of trim there. And I thought about using this piece of sheet, but it might be too similar to this one here. So I probably won't do that. Let's see what else I have. So the colors in this is mainly purple, blue, gold, and red. And that tan color. I don't have a whole lot in that blue. I think I've used this already in the journal, so I'm not going to use that again. I don't have a whole lot of that royal blue other than like this, and this is really thick. I don't like to use this on a page. This is one of those fibers that was in that, the little things at Hobby Lobby that says ribbon pack or ribbon assortment. So I didn't really get to pick and choose what I wanted. I just bought all of them. This is, I call it book bag strap fabric. I really don't know what it's called, but I ended up with a ton of it because I bought a tote of ribbon at an estate sale. And I really don't know what people use it for. If y'all have ideas, let me know, because I've got several colors and I just don't know what to do with it. I know it's not cheap, so isn't this pretty? I got this from an Etsy shop a couple of years ago. I think it's called Allure, A-L-O-R, and I have not even used it yet. But that's fringe, and I really don't want to put fringe on the page like that. Blue may not be the one for this page. Maybe I should look at red. So as you can see, I have recently put all of my trims in bags. Y'all, can y'all tell that I like red gingham? I keep buying it, and I think I'm running out, and I'm not. But I love it, so I think I'll use this. I love just a simple ribbon, gingham ribbon. Y'all excuse my nail polish. It's bad, I know. I'll just kind of let it chip away. It's really bad, actually. And of course, as you know, this glue dissolves nail polish. So if I'm working with Fabri-Tac, I might as well forget it if I have a manicured nail going on. I'm trying my best to use the rest of the stuff in this bottle, but it is getting thicker by the day. And Nat, one of my subscribers, told me to try nail polish remover, so I added that. And it did help, but I think it's just too far gone. When I bought this bottle, I felt like it was already old. I have since stopped buying Fabri-Tac from Michael's because I feel like their price is so high, without a coupon anyway. Their price with the coupon is still higher than what Hobby Lobby charges for the same item. And so I don't think a lot of people buy it. So it sits there and then it goes, you know, it gets old. So I no longer buy my glue from Michael's. This is leaking. I'll buy tacky glue from Michael's, but I buy my Fabri-Tac at Hobby Lobby. And actually, our Ace Hardware sells it too if I ever really desperately need it. Okay, see? That just adds a little bit of something. Pages like this, I understand you can't really journal on, but I really have a hard time putting pockets. Maybe a tuck spot or something. But I have trouble covering up really pretty florals with a pocket. Maybe I'll do so I don't cover this rose, maybe I'll do something here. Let me get some playing cards out. Just grabbed a whole mass of them real quick. My playing cards are in a basket that is not very transportable, so I love this. These are those, I got these in Happy Meal. They're cross-stitch playing cards. Or I guess Yeah, there are playing cards because this is Ace. I just think they're fun. That might be a good one. Alabama. That is just so cute. I think that's the last one I have of her. Part of me is like, so I was raised Baptist, and I know that there's some legalism in what I'm about to say, but part of me is like, oh, I can't put a playing card in a scripture journal because that's, you know, playing with cards. We were not allowed to play with cards because it was like gambling. That's cute too. It's a kitty cat. And the colors look good with that page. Maybe I'll do that. I know it's a scripture journal, but she's a cutie. Ooh, that actually, no. We're going to do that because it looks like the flowers and it also looks like a stained glass window. Yes, ma'am. You were the one for this page. So this is where Fabri-Tac is definitely needed because this is a crucial no-fail point that you want. And also the paper is slick and you don't want it to come off the page. Here we go. Did y'all like my little paperweight? I just use scissors or crocodile or whatever I have. I do have these little things. My son gave these to me, and I do use these a lot, actually. They're really great for holding, like if you need to do some extensive work on a page or a collage or something. I know they're not very pretty, but they do the job. It is only 11 and I'm hungry. So our schedule this year is earlier for school because of some classes that our daughter is taking not by me. So I'm getting up at, y'all, this is crazy. I have to get up at 6:15 now, and I'm not a morning person. So it's been a process, to say the least, but I'm actually enjoying it. I don't enjoy being tired at 5 o'clock in the evening, but I do like getting up early. And I probably haven't gotten up this early every day since I was in school. So even when our kids were little tiny babies, they were pretty good about not waking us up at the crack of dawn, you know, once they got to be like 8 or 9 weeks old. So it's definitely been, I have to retrain myself. All right, I think I want to do a pocket here and just a trim here because I think writing on wallpaper is fun. It's just very different texture, so I don't want to cover that up. I mean, I'll put a little decoration, but I think I want to do a pocket here. Now I've got this guy, like I said before. That might be fun. It's almost big enough to let me put 2, but not quite. And this would lend itself perfectly for, I will be typing with my typewriter some Bible verses and then embellishing the edges of them, you know, distressing them, ripping the paper and all that. That would actually be really cool right here. So yeah, I think I'll do that. Let me trim this edge off so I can fit both of these little scallops on the page. Plus that end is a little bit messed up anyway. It looks like it got caught in the box it was in and crease the corner. And this is the tricky part. I think I need to cut it right there, right past the, next to the last scallop. Yep. This is hard to glue in because it wants to, you know, it has to fold down. And honestly, this is probably what I'll put here because, well, maybe on this side because that word petunia needs to be right side up. I think that's nice. What do y'all think? So because this is a smaller piece, I'm just going to use oh my goodness, what's the name of this glue? Tacky glue. I almost said fussy glue. What is that? I think I was thinking fussy cut. I don't really have a plan for these journals like I normally do for ephemera, for tags, cards, and stuff like that. Normally before I even start a journal, I'll go through all of my books and I'll pull out images and pages that have that theme on them. This time I have decided not to do that. I'm not making ephemera before I need it. I will be just literally going through and looking at a pocket, looking at a tuck spot, looking at a belly band and saying, okay, what do I want to put in that? And then I'll go find it or I'll go make it. That may or may not be a good or bad idea. I don't know. Time will tell. It may take me a lot longer because of that. Then again, I don't know. It may give me more of a cohesive, purposeful look at the end. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I just felt like doing something different. I don't like to ever do the same thing all the time, the same way I've always done it. So I decided to change things up a little. So the best way, as you probably know, to get a pocket like this adhered to a page that has to curl way back is to put the page straight up and down and use the back of this to press against it and then, you know, do that. Because if you do it like this, it will not only be harder to keep pressed down, but it will also create more of a, when you open it up like this flat, it sometimes has a gap. I really don't know how to describe that. That's more important with fabric than paper, but it can happen with paper as well. Yes, these colors go very nicely with the cover. I'm pleased with that. And I realized that if I made all these journals harmonious in color, or if I made all the journals completely eclectic and then had no plan or thought into how I made the colors match the cover, they would go a lot faster, but for some reason I'm making it more difficult. As I tend to do. You know what? I might put this along the edge here and I will glue it instead of sewing because the journal is already put together. Plus, sewing on this kind of stuff, I do it a lot, but it always makes me nervous because I frequently go off the edge of the page or accidentally sew some of the fringe down. I just love this trim. It's so nice. Make sure I got it right side up. Yep. I feel like y'all are spending most of your time in this video waiting with me for the glue to come down. I thought about putting Fabri-Tac in an icing bottle too, because I know a lot of people do that. I have an extra one. But then again, I'm afraid that the clogging would just be so much worse in a small tip. I don't know. If y'all think that would improve my ability to get glue, let me know. I'll be glad to switch it to an icing bottle. Yep. That's really nice. I like that a lot. And it just blends well with that as well. This is some vintage wallpaper. You might have seen me thrift this a while back. I love it. This is a vintage sheet, and this is a typewriter page. Okay, I'm not going to do any more on video because I don't want this video to stretch into crazy amounts. So thanks for joining me today and watching along with me and helping me decorate this journal. And like I said, I'm hoping to finish these up in the next couple of days. So be watching for the flip through and what I decide to name each of them. And I hope all of you have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.